In the ancient hills of Canaan, under starry skies and desert winds, lived a man named Abraham. He wasn't perfect. He had made mistakes. He had doubted. But there was something extraordinary about him. He believed God. When God promised to make his descendants as numerous as the stars, Abraham believed, even when he was nearly 100 years old and had no son. Then the miracle came, Isaac, whose name means laughter. Imagine the joy, the healing of Sarah's heart, the pride in Abraham's eyes. Isaac was a promise fulfilled, the long-awaited proof that God keeps his word. But then came a request that could break any parent. Take your son, your only son Isaac, whom you love, and go to the land of Moriah. There, offer him as a burnt offering on one of the mountains I will show you. God was asking Abraham to give back what meant most, to lay down not just his son, but the promise itself. No explanations, no reasons, just a command. And here's the most staggering part. Abraham obeyed. He rose early the next morning, saddled his donkey, and set out on a journey of obedience. 3 long days, 3 silent nights, step after painful step, knowing that the destination was an altar and the offering was his son. Isaac, carrying the wood, asked the question that must have pierced Abraham's heart. Father, where's the lamb for the burnt offering? And Abraham answered with trembling faith, God will provide. That answer wasn't just for Isaac. It was a declaration to himself, a whispered belief in the middle of uncertainty. When they reached the mountain, Abraham built the altar, arranged the wood, and bound Isaac. And just as he lifted the knife, Abraham, Abraham, do not lay a hand on the boy. Now I know that you fear God. Then Abraham saw it, a ram caught in the thicket. God provided, just as he said. The test was never about sacrifice. It was about trust. God didn't want Isaac's life. He wouldn't allow Abraham to do what only God can do, sacrifice his only son. This ancient story isn't just a tale from long ago. It's a mirror for our own lives. Because God still calls us to Moriah, the places of trust, surrender, and obedience. You may not be asked to climb a mountain with your child, but you may be asked to let go of a relationship that's pulling you away from God. Forgive someone who hurt you deeply. Stay faithful when your prayers seem unanswered. Give generously, even when your finances are tight. Follow your calling, even when it costs your comfort or reputation. Modern-day faith isn't always dramatic. Sometimes it looks like choosing honesty when a lie would be easier, showing kindness when bitterness feels justified, staying when you want to run, moving forward when you're afraid. Like Abraham, we often don't see the ram in the thicket until we've said yes. Faith isn't a warm feeling. It's not a wish or a theory. It's movement. It's obedience before we have all the answers. Faith is what drives you to step out even when you're scared, to keep trusting even when you're tired, to keep walking even when you can't see the next step. Abraham didn't know what God would do, but he believed God would do something. Abraham named that mountain Jehovah-Jireh. The Lord will provide, and that truth still stands. God provides strength when you feel weak, peace when your heart is anxious, grace when you fall short, direction when you're lost, hope when you're weary. But here's the key. The provision often comes after the obedience. It was only after Abraham built the altar, only after he lifted the knife, that the ram appeared. We often want the ram first. We want the guarantee before we move. But God calls us to trust before we see. In a culture of instant answers and easy exits, Abraham's story is a call to radical trust, to live by faith even when it costs, to act on God's word even when it doesn't make sense. God is still looking for people like Abraham, people who believe even when they don't understand, obey even when it hurts, and trust that on the other side of surrender, there's blessing. Because you have not withheld your son, your only son, I will surely bless you. That's God's promise, not just to Abraham, but to all who walk by faith. So what's your mountain? What is God asking you to lay down? Whatever it is, trust that God will meet you there, not to take what you love, but to deepen your faith, prove his faithfulness, and lead you into something greater. Because real faith doesn't just talk. It moves. It obeys. It trusts, even when it doesn't make sense.